तोऽहम् नित्योऽहम् शुद्धोऽहम् बुद्धोऽहम् मोऽहम् शिवोऽहम् शिवा स्वरूप आयतमानन्द रूपम् रूपम् चिदानन्द शिवोऽहम् शिवा स्व पिता गुरु बंधु सखा गुरु मात पिता गुरु बंधु सखा तेरे चरणों में कोटि प्रणाम तेरे चरणों में प्रियतम तुम्हीं प्राणनाथ तुम्हीं प्रियतम तुम्हीं हृदयनाथ तुम्हीं तेरे चरणों में कोटि प्रणाम। तेरे चरणों में कोटि माता पिता गुरु बंधु सखा तेरे चरणों में कोटि तुम्ही भक्ति हो तुम्ही शक्ति हो तुम्ही मुक्ति हो मेरे सोच तुम्ही मुक्ति हो मेरे सोच माता पिता गुरु बंधु सखा तेरे चरणों में कोटि तुम्ही प्रेरणा तुम्ही साधना तुम्ही प्रेरणा तुम्ही साधना तुम्ही आराधना मेरे सोच तुम्ही आराधना मेरे सोच गुरुनाथ पिता गुरु मेरे चरण कोटि तुम्ही प्रेम हो तुम्ही करुणा हो तुम्ही प्रेम हो तुम्ही करो तुम्ही प्रेम हो तुम्ही हो तुम्ही मोक्ष हो मेरे सोच मोक्ष हो मेरे सोच गुरु माता गुरु बंधु सखा तेरे चरण कोटि प्रणाम तेरे चरणों में कोटि प्रणाम प्रियतम तुम्हें प्राण तुम्हें प्रियतम तुम्हें हृदयनाथ तुम्हें तेरे चरणों में सौंप ही प्राण, तेरे चरणों में सौंप ही प्राण। करता पुरख मूरत अर्जुनी से भंग गुरुपाद जप आद सच जुगाद सच नानक सच सोच सोच न होए जे सोची लखवार चुप चुप न होए जे लाई रहा लिवतार मुखिया मुख न उतरी जे बन्ना पुरिया तार सहसियान पलक हुई तायक न चले नाल क्यों सचियारा हो क्यों कूड़े टूटे पाल हुक्म रजाई चलना नानक लिखिया नाम
Thank you, my dear. Namaste, everyone. Very warm welcome to Satsang today. Sadhguru Shri Mujiji ki Jai. There are some who are still grayed out. We can allow them. It's okay. I often joke and say if you want to really stress someone out, make them the moderator in Satsang. If there's a gift I can give you, but uh, it would be the gift to be able to forget about all that you know. Just forget it. It is not the truth. Whatever it is that we know is not the knowingness. That's what's funny, isn't it? Because the knowingness is the great unknowable. That which is the knowingness itself cannot be known. True knowingness cannot be mentally understood. So at best, whatever is spoken in satsang, whatever anyone has said, at best they are pointers. They are thorns used to remove other thorns and then to be thrown away. There is no ultimate truth in that way. Not even to say, I am that. It is not the ultimate truth. And whatever we know is adding to the calories of the ego. Whatever we know are just calories of the ego. The good news is that all we have to do is not pick up new ones. So Garima went to the US and then she got me this fitness tracker. So it keeps track of all the calories burnt, and if you enter the food consumed, then also then you know that at the end of the day you burnt more. So like this, you see that the good news is that you don't have to go and have an operation. Although satsang is like an operation, the recognition of the truth in this instant is like an operation which removes prior conditions of the master, is like an operation which removes prior conditioning. And prior conditioning means what? That I have attached a condition to I am. I am something. Conditioning is as simple as that. You see? So as long as this conditioning is there, that I am something, you see, then we must make all effort. I know this will sound very non-Advaita to many of you, but make all effort not to pick up any new idea, no new calories for the ego. Oh, but this is too difficult for me. It never works. It sounds like a teaching. It sounds like an instruction. All these also ideas. You see? Because in this moment, your diet is done. You're at that perfect balance between burning and consuming. In this moment, you see? Are you going to pick up that dessert coming on the tray now? And are you going to pick up that which says, no, no, I must not pick it up? It's not even that, you see. You don't want the dieter identity to get rid of all the calorific content of the ego would not mean that I become the dieter. It only means that I become nothing. Even this much to say, although it felt like it would be such a simple explanation, actually makes it seem a bit confusing. So what am I really saying? I am saying the next thought will come. It will come. The next thought will come. It'll come and it'll dance in front of you. You see? And in the dance, it will sell you something. It'll tempt you with some idea. Don't buy. And if you buy, what to do? Nothing. The next thought will come. It'll dance in front of you. It'll try to sell you an idea. Don't buy. In that moment is the dropping of the presumption that I am something. Including the idea that I am not buying, must not be bought. No spiritual idea. Very quickly the the seeker or the ego tries to find refuge in something spiritual. You say, yes, 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 all this is getting cut off, but he will not mind if I go to a scripture or something and start consuming that. But there comes a point where you have to say, not even that. You are your own scripture now. Your own insights from the presence, uncontaminated by the mind, are as scriptural as the greatest scripture. You don't need anything. So at best, the use of these concepts is to allow us to uproot and release all other concepts. Just taking that diet metaphor even further, I heard that there are some foods that you can eat which not only have no calories, and she'll know Vedic. Which not only have no calories or very few calories for themselves, but also when they're being digested, they help the body in burning a lot of calories. You see? So that is satsang. You see? If you're not making a spiritual framework out of them, not making spiritual concepts out of the words in satsang, and you allow them to be heard on their own, just like they're being spoken on their own, then it will not add to any sort of conditioning. Possibly the worst thing that can happen is that satsang could be shared, and then the mind is interpreting everything, everything. And then what we remember from what was being shared, or what is assimilated from what is being shared, are these mental interpretations. You see, our idea about what was being shared. You see? And if we remove this interpreter, you see, then I feel like satsang is just so clear actually. Just so clear. Because what are we pointing? Don't believe your next thought. Does it need any addition, subtraction, interpretation? Nothing. Can you stop being now? Simple. Doesn't need any interpretation, not even a report card that this happened. Are you aware now? These are just the pointers which need no additional content to make it clearer or something. The additional content that is shared in satsang actually is just to get rid of any ideas we might have picked up about these very simple pointings. And I ask you, are you aware now? You know it is yes. I don't even care what your mouth is saying actually, because I know you know it is yes. You see? It is yes. That's it. You had the darshan of yourself. The self has had the darshan of the self. And the mind wants to come and gate crash into the party later. Say, nothing happened, but nothing. What do I see? Is this freedom? Can I keep this? I must forever be like this. All this is just the mind wanting to gate crash the party because it's feeling left out. Are you aware now? You see nothing to confirm this. That you are aware. You did not see awareness as an object, and yet you know you are aware. You say, I am aware of something. So it doesn't matter what the off is. But what are you? Aware of. Seems like such a simple phrase. Aware of. But what is this aware? Cannot understand it. You will never be able to understand mentally what is this aware. You say, I am aware of it. I'm aware of the world. I'm aware of my presence also, some of you can say. What are you? You are aware. The off is not relevant. Because the off is changing. But what are you? Are you an entity that is aware? Who is that entity that is aware of sleep, of waking, of dream? Bodies are changing, worlds are changing, happenings, events are changing. There is something and then there is nothing. All this is moving about. Is there an entity that is aware of them? Who are you in your deep sleep state? In sleep state, is it your experience that you are an entity that is sleeping? It is our experience that there is nothing, no thing is there. Who is it that knows the difference between sleep and waking? That is aware of. Therefore, when you check, am I aware? Say, yes, I am aware. This I that is aware, is it separate from the awareness itself? No, there are no two. There is just I. No attributes, no color, not empty or full, no description, no label. What am I aware of? Then the play of off starts. Then the play of off starts. I'm aware of my own existence. I exist, I am. But did the I change? It became I exist, but the I did not change. That for which there was even the distinction between existing and not existing, that I did not change. Only the sense of existing seems to appear. And within this sense of existence, of being, this whole phenomenal existence seems to arise. There is nothing outside of this existence, nothing phenomenal outside of this existence that you are. In none of this so far has there been any opportunity for delusion. You see, the appearance of the world is still not the opportunity for delusion, that which we call the mind. You see? There is no separation, there is no two, no sense of me or mine and other and theirs. Without the appearance of this energy that we call the mind. Just I am. Just I am. Everything can appear. Like to a baby, to a child. Before they're 2.5 years old, everything can appear. Pain can appear. External images can appear. Fear can appear. But the sense of me and other does not exist. The sense of separation does not yet exist. And this is true right now. Right now, there is no sense of me and another. Anything can appear. Images can come outside, seemingly outside, or images can come seemingly inside as imagination, emotion, sensation, everything can appear. Is there, is there some distinction unless you label it, unless you have a thought about it? Unless we call the body body and the space space. Is there a distinction between the body and space? It's just part of one appearance, one existence, which is shining with the light of my presence. When you are, it is. When this sense of existence, I exist, I am, is not there, nothing exists. Or more accurately, nothing exists. Say, yeah. Here's the mic. You can come to the mic or you want. The question is, what does the mind really want? So I will say what very often I hear, which is that the mind is also consciousness. The mind, because everything is consciousness, the mind is also consciousness. So what is the purpose of it? It is designed by consciousness. We can say like this. All of it is much more primal than any description. But we can say that the mind is the tool that consciousness invented for itself, the game that it invented for itself, which allowed it to believe itself to be a person. Without this device, this energy construct, it would never be possible for God to operate personally. So it wanted to play this game of person-person. So just like if I want to play a game of doctor-doctor with my daughter, then it's good that we have some of these plastic stethoscopes and devices that give more belief to the construct. You see? So if this realm is for God to experience herself or himself personally, it makes do with this device, which interprets everything in a personal way, so that God can then play in a personal way. Without this, not possible. Any appearance can come, even the most horrendous or the most sublime, but they're not taken personally unless this energy called construct called the mind was there. Now, of course, only eight wants to play. Who else is there? It is not really, but as part of the play, it is made scenes where it is play acting where it's really like down and out. So like this, it's all part of the play. You see? So where either in great bliss or in great sorrow, all part of the same play that it is writing for itself, part of the script. You see? Including the play of delusion and freedom from delusion. All of this, satsang, not believing thoughts, recognizing what we are, is all part of one play, the same play, your play. Yeah. Yeah. Yes, the way it expresses itself, but no, even in satsang, no two expressions of consciousness will exhibit exactly the same journey, isn't it? Why? Because in the play, you see, even in life, redundancy is very boring. So if all of this is one big leela, then why have redundancy? It's already been experienced in one form in that way. So why must it be experienced this way? So like a fingerprint, you see, every expression is unique. Isn't that amazing? Every face is unique. Every fingerprint is unique. You see why? Because in this tasting of this play, God apparently doesn't want redundancy. You see? Because it's boring. So every expression, everyone in satsang, all of you are so different. You see? Listening to the same thing. Your interpretations could be different, your questions could be different. You see? But in reality you are the same. You are one. In fact, at that point you cannot say you and I anyway. There's only one. So all this play, ups and downs, all of that actually makes a what difference does it make to being? Being is just being, isn't it? What difference does it make to that which is aware even of being? Yeah? Nothing. Awareness remains untouched, irrespective of the content of the play. See? Awareness never has a bad mood or a blissful state. Just the unconcerned witnessing. Even unconcerned is a term we have to use actually, because it means like it's aloof or something. Not even that. Involved. You see? But that's just terminology we have to use to describe it. It is neither concerned nor unconcerned. Now, right now, you are just watching all of this. That which is watching is untouched. She officially said that she hates the mics, but for the greater good.
So it is said that the mind has basically three flavors, that
Oh,
sattva, rajas, and
okay.
tamas. And one of them is the pure mind. One of them is the active mind, which is like it is perceiving multiplicity. And then there is the dense mind, the tamasic mind, which is dull, lazy, inert, and so on. So and it's mysteriously cycling through these
Yeah.
phases, but And coming to satsang and all that, it is more towards the sattvic
Sattvic,
dimension.
yes. But even that
Yeah.
movement from tamasic to sattvic or rajasic to sattvic, even that we are not so concerned about. You see, because there are many paths, yoga paths, or many ways which will tell you how to have a sattvic mind. You see, for one, I've not met a mind which is completely sattvic all the time. If you meet one, then please, I'd be happy to engage with them. You see, but here what is happening is that instead of so this, like you rightly said, this cycling seems to happen. You see, in all the three phases. You see, so you could say there are 3 or 6 or 9 or whatever you want because there are many phases here. But what we are saying is we are getting back out of the cycle. You see? So we are not really even concerned about the cycle, whether my thought is Rajasic, Sattvic, Tamasic. You see, it's not just about how we define the mind, isn't it? Bundle of thoughts. It's also about how the body energies are playing. You see, the body can just seem like very lethargic, tamasic. You have a lot of tamasic food you consume, and then the body seems to become like that. Then you have a lot of energy type food, Rajasic food, and the body can seem very and sometimes it just sattvic fresh food, nice, and you sense the body is just very peaceful, calm, but not lethargic, sleepy. See, all this is happening. So mind, body, both of these can be experienced. You see, but we are asking, so who is experiencing either of these without worrying so much about the quality of the appearance? We're saying who's the experiencer of them? You see? And if this experiencer is this being, then what is this being? Is it separate from that which is aware of even being? You see that ultimately they are one. Right? So there's nothing wrong with that. For those who are wanting to become more sattvic or something like this, it's okay, it's good. But here I feel like it's like, why take the long road? You know, let's be impatient about it. And see who is aware of the tendencies of the body, who is aware of the quality of the thoughts. If does that have qualities, can we say sattvic, tamasic, or rajasic for awareness, for this primal witnessing? Cannot say. You see? And once it is seen that predominantly I am that, with a slight, I have a tail which wags about quite a bit, which is called consciousness. See, maybe this phenomenal appearance who gets all the attention. You see, but predominantly I am this primal witnessing, which is aware even of the presence of being. So for this one, it's seen that I have no qualities. Sattvic, Rajasic, Tamasic don't apply to I in reality, but the apparent one that I am playing as, it seemed to be real, just like karma. See, so karma does not apply to the reality of what I am, but it seems like in this phenomenal play, you can operate on these karmic principles. You see? So when Bhagavan said that your prarabdha will still continue to play out, he's not talking about the you in reality. You see, it's talking about the functioning of the body mind. So these tendencies, qualities, as well as karmic principles, all of that apply to that which is playing as part of the play. Why do they say, for example, that after you come to this recognition of who you are, it is the cancelling out of karma. In many paths, it's very popular to say. Even it is said that if you go to the Kumbh and you have a dip in the Ganga, your lifetime worth of karma is washed away. That's why it's so popular. That's why millions go. So that this is like the cheat code. Enter the cheat code, and all the sins of all the past hundreds of lives can get washed away. You see, it's possible. I'm not denying it. You see, but what we are looking at, it is that which is prior to any of this karmic play, because we see that I'm not an entity which could be affected by even these primal forces. So then what is happening is that if you look at the operation of even these karmic tendencies, how does it work? You see? We can, I don't know, it's strange, we hardly talk about these things, but how does it work? So I see you, first time, suppose we met for the first time, you see, and I say, this one, you know, maybe I don't like her, something like this. You see, it comes, the thought comes, you see, and the thought already gets believed in. Why did the thought come in that way? See? So in India, it's very popular to say it is based on karma. See? Now, when we are getting away from this tyranny of thought itself, then all this doesn't work. The thought came or not, oh, I don't like her, whatever. It doesn't matter. It's coming and going. You see, I'm meeting you as just in the simplicity of being with no conditions. See? When we meet each other empty like this, then we are truly meeting. If you're meeting with notions, with preconceived ideas, then we're meeting an idea that we have about each other. So then we believe that we are a separate entity. Therefore, we then believe in this advisor called the mind. You see, then we will be stuck in this karmic way, because how will it end? Either good or bad. It will continue. Good karma will lead to good stuff according to the theory. You see, and bad karma will lead to bad stuff. But every action done from this individual standpoint leads to new one. You see, so then this is never ending. Loop is never ending. I feel a very interesting contemplation would be to look at what would have been the starting point. You see, that is why you can come to the sense that the primal cause must have been just consciousness itself. There can be no cause. If everything is causation and cause and effect, what was the root cause? Has to be only consciousness, isn't it? So as we are looking at what we are, and we are letting go of this mental stuff, then we are freeing, in one way to say like that, we rarely talk like this, then we are freeing ourselves from tendencies, conditioning, karmic, this thing. Some body related prarabdha can still remain, some experience, some pain or something that has to be experienced can still remain, which also gets experienced but is not taken personally. So we go prior to all these sattva, rajas, tamas, and from all these uh, theories of karma and laws of karma, we go beyond the cycle of birth and death in the simplicity of just saying, who am I? You see. So Bhagavan has given us the easiest way, simplest way. What Shivani saying? What are these foods, by the way? We were talking about. You want to share some? Vedika is the expert on these things. Sattvic, tamasic, rajasic food. How is it in Ayurveda? How is it broken up? You can share. Both of us can contribute a bit.
So sattvic food is like uh, vegetarian, completely vegetarian, and low on spices and everything. It's freshly cooked. That is, whatever is, it has like a morning to night cycle,
Yeah.
and you don't carry it over to the next day. And also the eaten in moderate quantities, though it's very tasty, etc. It has to be eaten in moderation just to keep the body fit and alive. And Bhagavan has said it is the main aid to self-enquiry is basically sattvic food. is told like that.
It's basically the food you get at Ramana Ashram.
Yeah.
That is sattvic food. So that type of food is sattvic
I'd
food.
like to
Not
sort of,
very heavy,
yeah.
light, small portions.
But it's
moderate.
very tasty, so
It's
we
very
can tend to overeat.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that one. And Rajasic is it's high on spices and things like that, and keeps you very fit and the mind extremely active. Basically,
Is it also like a lot of sugar?
yeah, all that can basically. I mean, this Rajasic Sattvic, first came in the Bhagavad Gita. I think
I see.
Bhagavan Krishna has explained the
I see.
categories of food.
I see.
So I don't know if sugar existed then, but
I
basically
see.
he said very spicy food
Yeah.
and oily, etc., and all that, and strengthens your sense of individuality and strengthens the sense of achiever
Yeah.
and competitiveness and multiplicity, and all that is. So it is not, if you want to become quiet, etc., but if you want to be an athlete and all that, you have to go in for Rajasic only. You can't survive on Sattvic food as an athlete. Tamasic is basically food which is unconsciously prepared, non-vegetarian food with oil, too much oil and stale food and overnight and all that. This keeps the mind kind of enshrined in darkness and very ignorant like that. So it
You
goes.
feel a
So
lot
it
of
is said.
lethargy and
Yeah, because in the olden days there were many people like that, no, eating all kind of wrong things, and the Buddha is said to have given up his body when he consumed this bhiksha from one such, but because he didn't want to break anybody's heart, and he accepted it, though he knew it will lead to his death.
I
He
see.
was, yeah. So so it's basically that kind of stale and leftover, those things which don't give you a sense of well-being. But maybe people who are poor and all can't afford. So it's because the body is essentially only the food that it has consumed.
Yes.
That's Annamaya Kosh.
Yes.
So it is said it's very important to, if you want to move towards more and more peace, you have to get your eating kind of thing right.
Thank you. Thank you, Auntie. It's good for a change. We never talk about these things. Just to know. It's nice to hear. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know if I'm totally correct in saying this, but I know a little bit about
Oh, yeah.
these things. And I don't know if it's so like black and white from
Yeah.
what I've learned about it that this is like the type of food. I think there's also certain like body types
No.
as well.
Yes.
So, and if you have a certain ailment, either mental or
Oh,
physical,
the Vata, Pitta, Kapha.
yeah, like it might be good to actually have food that's rajasic in terms of like it increases your agni or fire.
Okay.
And if you're very like, if you, let's say you eat, if you have a vata composition, and so you're very light, and it might actually be good to eat more tamasic food just for grounding,
Oh.
because otherwise you might even like have some mental anxiety, and it would actually help you to calm you down in meditation. To,
Oh.
I don't know if it's totally
Okay.
correct, but this is just from
No, I don't know anything
my
about
my
this.
I have a family member who's an Ayurvedic doctor, and this is just
Nice.
what I've heard. But she deals with it more from like a physical and mental health aspect. I don't know how much for meditation, but just wanted to add that.
It's good. It's very vast. This whole topic of food, nutrition, Ayurveda is such a vast topic, of course. You know why this probably is coming up? Is because we were talking about calories and
In addition to like all the things that I have spoken, like the various kinds of food, and like she means beautifully described the things that Ramna has spoken.
Yeah.
But there is one more thing that I have heard from Sadhguru, which says is written in the old scriptures also, like Patanjali, that you said that you haven't met anyone who is completely sattvic all the time. So it's true that there is a saying that if you remain sattvic for let's say about 21 days, complete sattvic, then you won't be able to be in the body. Something like this. You would be like annihilated. And I felt with this body also that if I consume regularly sattvic food and the nature is more towards sattvic, then it's like sometimes I have to consciously eat rajasic food to like take part in the world, something like this.
I wonder, seeing how thin you are, whether you eat anything at all. Seeing how thin you are, I wonder whether you have any type of food. Whether
It's true that sometimes I have to consciously eat like some rajasic or tamasic food.
there are also, Guruji has met these in Brazil, breatharians. Have you heard of them? They live only on prana, shakti, only breath, no food. They don't consume. And he also said, I would never have believed it, but I've lived with them, I've seen them. You see? No, nothing, just breath. Okay. Yeah. Yes? No. The best calories to get rid of are concepts.
Father, can I ask a question?
Yes, yes, my dear, come.
Ask the Father.
Namaste.
Just want to clarify, Father, because you were saying something about the theory of karma. Theory of karma can only exist if the person exists.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes, it only applies to this idea.
So then there's no karma if there's no person,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So karma
Globally,
only
we can say
happens
that.
in a sense if, sorry?
Yes, mostly we can say that. The idea that we have about ourselves being personally, but if you take Bhagwan, for example, he would even say that at the end, like even in his case, he said only some prarabdh karma, which is some from the previous pool of karma that exists, which needs to be played out through this body. So be it in the form of cancer or something that had to be played out in the body which was there. You see, even that is encompassed in the karma principle. But mostly when we speak of karma, it's about this mind related stuff more than the body related stuff.
So that was my question, Father, that how does the body carry karma if that's exactly my question. If there is no mind, if there is no person, then how can the body carry karma of cancer from one lifetime to the other? I don't know. When you were talking about that, I felt like a bit, it just
Yeah, yeah,
spilled the freedom a bit because
yeah, yes.
it feels like karma
It seems
is
to
like
be like
physical.
yes, yes. And I'm no expert on this, but from whatever I've seen, I feel like it just seems to be like one of the phenomenal forces like gravity or something. It applies to the mind, and maybe some aspect of it applies to the body. The mind aspect of it is washed away because it can only apply, mind only applies to this idea of being a person. But that which still needs to play out through the body probably still continues to play out. This is what seems to make sense here. But if someone has a better explanation, we can also look.
Bhagavan has said that this idea that only the jnani has only prarabdha and the other two forms of karma, that is agami and sanchita
Yes.
karma, are finished. He said that's just a facile explanation, and it is not true at all. He said that it is like if a man who has 3 wives, if that man dies,
Yeah.
how can only 2 of them be widows and one not? Says with self knowledge, all
All that.
all karma goes.
Yes.
There is nothing like that.
Yes.
It is only because we are body identified, we see Bhagwan as that form. He is not aware of himself as that form at all.
Yes.
He's not,
Yes.
so that
So
that karma
it,
is not for him.
yes, of course. In
So he
reality,
said it like that.
nothing ever happened to anyone in reality actually, even in spite of identification or not. So I feel the question was coming from this place of saying that if it is the end of all this cause and effect, then how is it that even those who are free from this mental idea about themselves, even for those in the appearance of those bodies, there can still be the appearance of afflictions or things like this? Because usually it's the end of mental affliction. No, no mental content can bother them, but it can still seem like the body can have some affliction, isn't it? So either we can say it's all part of one this entire cosmic lila, and in reality nothing really happened, so it's fine. Or we can say that if the body was under the influence of some karmic principle in the past, then it continues to be in the influence of that principle. Okay? So it's just like you're saying, just explanations about nothing. But ultimately, none of this has happened. But that's what we do every day. So that's what we're looking at. So that's what my laugh sounds like.
So, Father, I don't need to worry about karma and stuff, right? Because
Yes,
it's not fitting in. Yeah.
that's why we never talk about it.
Okay, that's fine. Thank you, Father.
Thank you. Thank you.
Namaste, Bhagwan.
Namaste, namaste, my dear.
Uh, Today there was a post in Heart Altar that awareness, consciousness, everything is a kind of a concepts, and I see many other posts also in this chat. So
You
what I
must
want
stop
to
chatting with cat. Huh? Okay, okay. Go on. I'll have a look at the chat maybe a little later.
okay, so in fact uh, I want to know because I've seen in many in the satsang. They just get it and the oneness and everything, and they're quite and still, I mean, nobody talks about their experiences and other things. So but when somebody posts in this group, especially in your group or that heart altar, then there is a curiosity to know, I mean, why is it that right since Bhagavan Ramana and till you for so many years, almost 100 years, is still talking about awareness and consciousness, and somebody who got it about a week back or 2 weeks back, and suddenly says these are all concepts. So what am I doing here in the satsang? I mean, what am I doing here in satsang? Either the person who got it actually did not get it, or if he got it, then should be still. What is there to confuse others? I mean, if such things they are presented to the people who haven't got it, they will utterly get confused. What Ananta is talking about awareness, and this guy got it 2 weeks back, and he says this is all bullshit. And even here in the chat there is a comment like as if the karma exists. Is Ananta a fool, or some 20 people sitting here and some 20 people watching here? If the person does not have a patience to actually sit and listen and accept it, whether it is be of interest to the person or not, it is just a play, another play on the food. What is the problem? So why being so much vociferous and declaring that I see so many posts like this. This is all. What is the need to announce? The one actually, I have been on this path for decades, and the one who gets it, he does not even speak. He gets it. There is no need to announce. To whom will you announce? If you are one with everybody, then whom are you telling? Whom are you telling? Everything is same. Whom do you want to actually announce that, I'm so and so and I got it? I am you and you are me. It's, so it is all confusing. I just want to put it here just because people should not actually get distracted. Whatever Ananta is talking, awareness, consciousness, whatever Muji is talking, this is all bullshit. These are all concepts. What is the point to go to the satsang then?
Yeah.
Because if I get it anyway, I will say, these are all concepts. Keep quiet. Keep quiet, be still, and marinate it in yourself. Sorry, the person is here in this hangout also, but I know you are very gentle and generous. You will never touch it.
Not always, mostly.
Yeah. In fact, it is very difficult to know.
I feel
You will not believe. When I was sitting in the hot seat with Muji, I said, he said, why don't you want to teach? People actually, they just close themselves, and then who will teach all these people? I said, I don't know. If Ramana wants, I will teach. What is the problem? Then I told you Ramana is false, you are false, then Papaji is false. Then he said you, I said I am also false. Then he, he said who will teach this? I saw all the people. I could not find even a single person who was not realized. I told Bhagwan Muji, they are already realized. They are just playing with me. They are just playing with me actually. They are already realized. That is how it should be. There should be a humility should come, compassion should come, love should come. Not like a eureka, eureka, I got it. Oh, eureka, I got it. No,
thank you, my dear.
thank you,
So,
Bhagwan.
in that for about 3 years, I think 3 years, the sharing of satsang has happened from here, and I've seen that mostly in the 3 years, I've always seen that most of the sangha has wanted me to be little stronger with everybody else except them. Yes. Nobody, and many have also said, please chop my head off, chop my head off. But when that chopping has happened, many times they have not returned. You see? So it's always like this that I've seen that this sense is there that why can't he just take out his stick or his sword and just chop it up, because this one is being so egoistic, you see. Yeah. But it doesn't play. Usually it doesn't play like that from here, because I just feel like, and maybe there's some memory of this sort of spiritual play happening from this body also, going and proclaiming things and posting things on Facebook, and you see. But I knew that life whacked it out of me very well. So there's no need for any strong intervention to come from anywhere. Whatever suffering comes because of any concept that we might be holding on to is bound to come. You see. And sometimes many have also come and said, but you whacked me yesterday, you whacked me yesterday, and I did nothing at all. So many times in the silence, a whacking can happen. Or in some words which might seem very gentle when they are flowing from here, some sense of whacking can happen. All of you, all many of my beloved children have told me, like Radha has said one day that, Father, you gave me a tight whack yesterday. I'm like, but what did I say? I didn't say. You see? So whatever whacking or not whacking, whatever course correction, all of that is bound to happen through this voice on its own. I don't feel like there's a sense here that I must correct this one or I must correct that one. And anytime the sense comes that I must correct this one, immediately grace shows me those times where the same play happened in the same way from here also. So it prevents any of that from coming, saying, like Jesus said, no, let the one who throws the stone be the one without sin first. So mostly it plays like this over here. I have no predictions for how it will play out in the future. I have no guarantees about that, but at least how it is played out here so far has been this just the general allowing of most things. And also, I must say that most things don't bother me. Also, I don't get so bothered, even if there is a spotting. You see, there is a clear spotting of where some things could be coming from. I don't feel there's so much getting bothered by it and saying why this one has to be like this. Of course, there is sometimes this sense that, and of late also I've got, most of you in the Sangha know this, that because you've written to me about this usually, saying that, this one is posting something which is contradictory, doesn't seem to be in alignment with what you're saying. And when I get this report also, it's fine, because I know in this realm, opposite values of expression will always exist. And I'm nobody to say that I am right or this is right and you are wrong. I don't feel that. But what I do find some merit in is when you say, but this is confusing, you see, because the point of clarity of expression in satsang is to bring you to a point of end, to some point of ending of this confusion. So when the group moderator or someone comes to me and says, this has been posted, or this is like this, and maybe this could lead to some confusion, then we look at it, and many times we request the person to remove it or not to post in the future, and that has happened in the past. Even to sometimes for those who are very dear to me, actually, we've gone to them and said that it's not about what you're seeing. There's not necessarily a doubt about that, because there might be great clarity in that, but just in the mode of your expression, how it is coming across is in contradiction to what is being shared in satsang, or what Guruji says, or something like this, and can we not use these platforms for that? So it has happened and will continue to happen. So that minimal amount of not posting, the minimal amount of thing. Actually, on the heart altar, I know most of you are there, but most of you who are there, I feel are there because you have come to a recognition of what you are. So I don't feel it's so easy to confuse you guys. So it's okay. Someone has got this sense that they must express something like this, and usually I see most things out of love. Okay? So I see something which is proclaiming something or saying something like this. For a moment, something can come that, oh, this is a proclamation or something, and I instant it dissolves and says, okay, but they're just sharing out of love for me. So it's very beautiful. It's okay. It's okay. I see the 100 or so of you in the heart altar, I feel are very, very, very clear about your own seeing, very, very clear about what is being shared in satsang, and not so easily shakeable by all of this. So I don't feel we need to worry too much about heart altar. And the sangha of being, if there is something contradictory, you sent me a message and we looked at that, isn't it? We sorted that out. So in the broader groups, if there is something which can seem confusing, we can look at those things. But overall, generically, our feeling is to be more open, to be more inclusive. Thank you for bringing this. Thank you.
Whatever pointings are there for me, I got it and I work on them.
Yes. And this is only about you. Everything is only about you.
Yes.
Just not you as Anil. All of this play is all of your play. The dance of Ananta, the dance of the Sangha, the dance of the proclaimers, and the dance of the falsely humble ones, all of this is all for your play.
Actually, my first guru was very, very strict.
Nice.
And even the sagehood, she had withdrawn. Because if she found even a single trace of the ego which was hidden, and it has happened with Muji also, that page has been taken off from the site. So,
I don't know what you're referring to now. What happened?
no, nothing. That page, in fact, in which That page on the muji.org, that has been taken off, in which three of you, they were allowed to share their insights.
Oh,
That
is it up? Okay.
that page is not there now. That page is not there. See, I cannot invest.
All.
I cannot invest my whole life, which is so precious, so short of time, you know, onto a path where the master himself is not clear, or I don't resonate with the master. So many lifetimes already wasted. So why waste another one?
Yes.
So it is very important actually. Therefore, the master and disciple relationship is a two-way relationship. Master is as much responsible for the disciple as much disciple has a basically, this kind of a surrender to the master. Both are bound actually. Both are bound. Karmically, they are bound. Sorry, Bhagwan. Actually, I am very ignorant. If I said something, it just came out
No, it's
spontaneously.
fine. It's very good.
It just
Yes.
came out spontaneously. There was no such planning or anything like that.
Everything can be used to point to who we are. All this play of appearances. If the urge is for self-discovery, you see, then this is a dual purpose world actually. And the urge is to play as a person, then everything can perpetuate this sense of individuality and personhood. And if the urge is to come to the end of this, then everything which is appearing can be used for our inquiry. You see?
Yes, yes, I get your pointing. I get your pointing. It's a distraction basically. It's a kind of a creating one more conditioning for me. But that is the way it is. I mean, that is the way it is. Who knows the truth? I mean, it's very difficult. Who knows the truth? Because the truth cannot be even touched. All these things, they are happening within the dream. Like you said today itself, the waking up is again a dream. Bhagavan also says, Bhagavan Muji also says it's all a dream. The only thing is you are awake. And you are supposedly actually thinking that you are awake. Who knows it? Nobody knows the truth. It's just a play, in fact. Everybody is playing. That's all.
Thank you, my dear. Thank you. Just right now, it's all about this. Right now. Yesterday we were speaking after Satsang that there can be no future freedom. You will not get freedom in the future. Just in the right now, the tray is coming in front of you. The 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 like in the movie The Matrix. The plate is there. The nice wine is there. Yeah. It presumes to be so inviting. But now we've tasted over and over, and we found that it is not giving me the lasting peace, lasting joy. So how long will we keep tasting from the same plate and saying that this time what I'm eating will be different? Who?
The girl in the interview the other day, I think was a retreat. there was this girl who was an addict for 22 years, and she gave it up. She kicked the habit, and then and she got it, and Muji was saying something about nice wine, maturing, and she said no wine. You just mentioned wine. My mind went to her.
There's 4 types of wine in this world. You know the 4 types of wine. 4 types of wine. Yeah. Relationship wine. Relationship wine. Security money wine. Health of the body, state of the body wine, and this freedom wine. Search for meaning, search for purpose, freedom, same. 4th, maybe 4 main categories, and then all the variants. Keep sipping from these, feeling like I will get into this blissful intoxication. Why do we get into relationships? Because we feel like they will complete us. They will give us lasting peace and joy. See? It never works like that. In fact, relationships become the greatest test. Not even greatest test, but greatest pointers for us to look within ourselves. Usually. Same for money. If I had so much money, I would become so happy. Never met a happy person because of their money. Keep working on the body. Eventually it will fall. Yes, that is also true. So it gives, the lack of it gives sadness, and the acquiring of it doesn't even give lasting joy. How useless must that be? Desires like that. So much agony, so much we knot ourselves because of these desires. And when we get something, then momentarily, because knot is opening out, it feels like, this is so nice. After a while, gone. And next version.
It's not life itself, but desire for experience.
Yes.
There is no desire.
Yes. But if the primal urge in you was just for more and more experiencing, then what are you experiencing here in satsang? If the desire was more and more about phenomenal experiencing, then here by now at least you must be clear that you're not getting much of that. Isn't it? So there must be something which wants to go beyond this realm of experiencing now, to come to the truth of what you are prior to all of this. Okay? Because if it is just for phenomenal experiencing, then satsang is the most boring, torturous place to come to. And why you want to come here and hear that you don't exist phenomenally?
Because the desire is to get out of this experiencing, but it is also true that as long as the being is there,
So if it is true that as long as being is here, experiencing will be here, then what is the desire? You say, I want experiencing, that means desire. But it is also seen that as long as being is there, phenomenal experiencing will be there. Then what is the point of desire? Saying, I want experiencing, you see being is there. The desire must then mean that I want experiencing to be a certain way. If it is just that I'm neutral to whatever the experience might be, then you can't really call it a desire anymore. Because experiencing is there, you yourself said. If the presence of being is there, then this phenomenal experiencing continues. So if it is just for neutrally any phenomenal experiencing, then it's all fine. What is a desire then? must mean that I want it to be a certain way. You see? So this voice, which sets a condition, is what we are looking into and exploring into the reality of that one. So if you're speaking of the primal urge, which is the source of the creation of this universe, okay, then that is undeniable. If you're talking about the idea that my life should have this sort of relationship partner, this kind of money in my bank account, this type of body, and this is how I shall attain my halo through my freedom, then it is based on an idea of a separate entity. Take the mic.
The freedom that the recognition that you are in the play but out of the play also, and this is the desire to come to satsang. But you know that the experiencing the world, the phenomena is here. So like other freedoms, like the say the financial freedom and these kind of freedoms, so why these can't also be accepted or included in that freedom?
Yes, it is just as simple as this. It is, you say, I want to be at the end of my conditioning. Okay? Therefore, I must not pick up new conditioning. But I want to be both eating my hamburger and not pick up calories. Okay? Is a trap which your mind can set for you. Okay? So I want to have my phenomenal desires, which means what? I want to keep presuming that I'm a person, and I want to be free from this sense of personhood. You have to pick one. Okay, are we on the same page when you say that we are talking about I want this, I want this, I want this in a particular way? All of this must rely on the sense of a personal or individual existence.
It's hard to say, but yes.
Yeah. You can look more, you can contemplate that more, because from here what I see is without taking on the perspective of being an individual entity, I cannot really say I want life to be going in this way or that way. You see? So then you say that because it is one totality, you see, all of it is one consciousness anyway. So can't I accept my existence as a person and therefore the personal desires? This is what we are questioning, isn't it? So you do not exist as a person even in this phenomenal realm.
This desire of experiencing is not of the person, it's the consciousness which experiences.
Yes. So if you're talking from that level, then everything is consciousness.
And that's why I said that the life itself is a desire of consciousness.
Then whether accepting or not accepting is both consciousness. If I say accept every thought or don't accept any thought is also consciousness.
No, but it's like I started with the point that you ended with. For example, I started with the point that if you say that all these four type of wines, you are not interested in these wines, then I said that
The wine is also consciousness.
no.
Let me make it simpler. What are you saying?
That if the consciousness has really no interest in the content of the consciousness, then I don't see any possible way for the continuity of the life, because it is the desire to experience, the desire of consciousness to experience.
Yeah. Yes, so we are saying the same thing. This whole world, phenomenal existence, phenomenal creation, is to experience this experience. Your question was, at least what I heard was, this question that if all of it is this desire for experience, then why cannot you accept my personal desires?
That I inserted in afterwards because I see that having the freedom which Satsang offers does not mean the end of this world.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yes. See, everything in this realm, most things in this realm are catering to what you want personally. You see? And if you say even that is consciousness, I know that. Now, satsang is the place where you come to see what you are beyond these personal things. You see? So, even you're coming to satsang and saying, I want to continue to be a person, is consciousness. I know this. But the role of satsang in this play is to remind you of what you are, which is prior to this idea of being a person. You see, I don't feel that we must ever go to a teacher who doesn't know that all is consciousness. So within the qualities of consciousness, we are talking about that which adds on to personal conditioning and that which frees us from personal conditioning. And this type of satsang is so that we can free ourselves from this sense of personal conditioning. All as part of one play of consciousness, of course. There's nothing outside of that. Bhagwan knew all of this is consciousness. Let me bring out the heavy guns. Because sometimes I feel just because Ananta is saying it is not enough. So let's say Bhagwan knew all of this is consciousness. Okay? Then why did he give the inquiry home? Why did he tell everyone inquire? All is a play of consciousness. So even that inquiry was given within consciousness, from consciousness itself. Really? But will you say, okay, now Bhagwan didn't know what he's doing because actually everything is consciousness. So why did he give this instruction for everyone to inquire? So that we can go beyond this idea we have of ourselves as people, as a person. Has anything ever happened outside consciousness? Exactly. Cannot be any experience outside consciousness. That's why also jokingly I say, no, that a serial killer is also consciousness, axe murderer is consciousness. Why you come to satsang? Cannot.
I think I got the point you want to convey.
Yeah. Basically, the point is you cannot have your person and be free too. You cannot have your cake and eat it too.
I think there's a struggle that I want to keep some portion of person
Yes.
also and want to be free also.
Yes. Azar will not be free. You will be free from Azar idea. Give them.
Sometimes a desperate struggle to be the first person who had the cake and ate it too. You can somehow push the frontiers and you will be able to do it, but it never works.
Because what are we saying? You see, I want to go left and go right at the same time, and I want to be the first one to do it. Because freedom itself means what? Freedom from this person idea. So to say that I want to be the person who became free is just a contradiction of terms itself, right there. And the mind can come and say, but wouldn't that be so cool? The first one, the first person to become free. Free from what? That's what you would ask, no? So I became the first person to become free, but what are you free from? First person to be free of the person. You want to be the first person who swallowed himself up. The first body that swallowed itself up. Can you do it? Yeah, eat yourself up. This is exactly what it is. The person wanting to be free from the person. It's just the idea that the body can eat itself up. I'm sorry, it sounds a little strong. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So what happened at the end? After the circle, then there comes a point where the circle is just a circle. It's stuck because she said that in some traditions it's the snake which is swallowing itself up. You see, but the snake is getting swallowed up. It's reaching over there. You see, and then comes to point where you're stuck. This is what happened in satsang. You see? You come as people wanting to be rid of the people, and then when it's not getting anywhere, you're just stuck as a circle. You're sitting there. So there's nothing, no more room to swallow inside, and you can't even come out. You're just jumping about saying, why is it not happening? Why I'm not dissolving? Because it's still personal. This in this example, I feel we've come to this very good explanation of why satsang is frustrating. And it's so funny that in the same satsang, some could be just sitting so blissfully, joyful, laughter is coming. Another is saying, whoa, what is this stuff? And is it every day like this? I can't come to this. Why? Same words, same presence, everything. It's just the perspective is different. The person is, how can I use this? What can I do with this? How does this make my life better? It doesn't. When will I be free? Never. Never. That which believes itself to be bound will never be free. The person will not get freedom. At least I know that here the person will not get. I don't know. There might be some other place where you get some personal freedom. But I've seen a lot of them, self-help, all different types of programs. Doesn't work. At least let's not say it doesn't work, did not work here. And I can only speak from what seems to be true here. Shivani says and you end up biting your own head. Not even that you get to. Because if you come to the point where you're dissolving and getting smaller and smaller, then I would be fine. But it just why these silly examples are coming today? But another very silly visual is coming up, which is saying that you start eating your own feet. Yeah? There comes a point where you're just stuck, no? There's no more room for anything to go inside. You're not done and it's stuck here. Take it out. You're just stuck. Ah. Okay. Shiva created this demon. Okay. So this demon was destroying all the people. Ah.
Shiv from taking the sun,
Yes.
taking those food
Yeah.
and all. So he killed and ate up all those people. So in the end, no one was left to eat. So this Rakshas, it was like kind of his tendency that he has to eat something.
Something.
So he asked Shiva that Shiva, you created me and I have destroyed all your enemies, but now I want to eat something and I have nothing to eat. So Shiva told him that now do it yourself.
Yeah.
Do it yourself. So he kind of started eating his own hands
Yeah.
and so some portion of him left because he can't eat all of it.
Yes.
So so after
Sometimes
that,
it's better the mic is not working. So this example is too strong for broadcast. We'll get banned again.
so after that, this picture image is like used in many temples as an
Ah.
influence, at the impress of
Oh
temple.
yes,
This
is
half
that what it is?
body,
Ah,
this demonstrates.
I see. I see.
It has some like.
Oh, just wanted to expose further. Means sometimes its mind come at very strong force. To just leave it means what I do. I just leave it, watch movie or drive around or something. Just leave it. So it means all kind of from yesterday's like. Sorry to say, this kind of thoughts coming. I'm like, I'm in this Bangalore prison, and you are the head jailer.
Saying I'm in Bangalore, the head jailer, and you want to escape this prison.
And I can't skip that. Also, mind knows means even if I go next day, I will come. Something will bring me back. So, and like so frustrating for my.
It's very good you bring this up actually,
Yeah.
because it's a very common tendency
Yeah.
to escape from satsang. You see? And sometimes it can come strong like this that enough, now I want to go live my life. I've heard those. And there's sometimes very this thing that I still love it, I want to be in your presence, but life is stopping me, it's not working, it can be like that. So it's very good that you bring this up, because it seems you're running out of room now. Like this prison, but not just prison, but your cell is becoming smaller and smaller. Yeah? It's just that, okay, now not this also, not this also, not this also. Yeah. Because every day, who am I? Who am I? Are you aware now? Can you stop being? Don't believe your next thought. You are free. It's just the mind. It's the same. Huh? You're not the doer. You don't exist. Only you exist. And plus all the contradictions. Huh? You are free. You are completely free. You will never be free. You don't exist. Only you exist. Huh? You must not believe your thoughts. Put all effort into it. You don't have to do anything at all. Inquire till you come to the end of inquiry. Drop the inquiry. Nothing needs to be done. It makes no sense. What is he saying? What's going on here? And still I continue to come. At least for those who continue to come. Yesterday you tell me, inquire. Today you tell me, don't do anything at all, just come to satsang. You say, okay, for you, believe all your thoughts. No, you believe no thought. Don't pick up a single thought. You will come to the point of freedom. But you always started free. One day you will recognize the truth. Awareness never forgot who it was. It's all contradictory. I know this. And I make no claim to the truth. So if something wants to run, I can completely understand. It's non-stop. You must give yourself 100%. There's nothing you can do actually. Why is this like this? Why is it like this? Because there is no road to neutrality. Is it? Sometimes if you're going, this is also a metaphor. Okay? Sometimes if you're going left, 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 I have to push you right, right, right. Sometimes if you're going right, 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 I have to push you left, left, left. Just to keep you as nothing. Because if it was only one way, then it would just make you a very excellent spiritual seeker with a way to get to the truth. I have the way. It cannot be that. But thankfully, we've not had so much of this sense where you've come and said, but yesterday you said this, and today you're saying this. I'm sure many of you feel that very often. Azhar is one of those who can actually say it also. Yes. Yeah. Give him the mic. And then what happened?
Came to satsang and just father started satsang with this, that don't hold on even to this, that I don't have to depend it. What?
I found the way, and then he takes that one also away. Away must mean that you have to get somewhere. Did I say that I speak the truth? Very often I say, actually. The truth is, the truth is. I'm calling myself on FaceTime. No concept that anyone can ever speak is the truth. Maharaj actually said this very beautifully, very often, which provided a lot of solace here actually, which was when he said that the only truth I can speak is that I am, and in the end even that is not true. In fact, very often he would say that, who told you I speak the truth? But it must be said that the presence and the words in satsang, somewhere they ring true. Otherwise, they would not have that drawl. They ring true somewhere. So therefore, in the content of the words by themselves, in the dictionary meaning of them, obviously they would not be true. But they seem to show us what we are, point us within in some way. There might come a day, even in this realm, I don't know, after how many thousands of years, that this doesn't need to be spoken at all. And this becomes the most obvious, natural truth. The layer of conditioning. Okay?
Bhagwan, I was watching a satsang of Ranjit Maharaj,
Yes.
Guru Bhai of Nisargadatta Maharaj
Yes,
today, and somebody asked him, what is the reality? He said, the reality does not speak. It is only the image of the reality which speaks.
yes.
And moreover, in the Advaita, they say, like, whatever you do, you are actually enclosed in whatever you say is the infinite, and the mind, or the one who is actually capable of going to the most subtlest, whether it be the energy or the ether or whatever you say, it can only have a very vague glimpse of the truth behind the glass. It is a kind of a, like, okay, I think I have seen the truth, but, and so the truth never speaks. I mean, like, Papa, I was witnessing one more video by Papaji, and he was giving an example. He said that something happened, and Kabir, in fact, was a witness to it. So the police called him, and then they asked Kabir. They knew that he is a saint, and then Kabir said, like, the one who speaks sees not. The one who sees speaks not. The eyes see, but they cannot speak. The mouth can speak, but cannot see. So the best way is just fold the hands and then simply say thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Nothing more than this. Most humble way. Like in the Buddhism, they have an atom theory. In the Buddhism, they have an atom theory, and each atom has a component, not like a scientific way, of protons, neutrons, and everything. One component of the Anu, they say, is the consciousness. They define it that way. So when each atom knows I am, then who will claim I know myself? Each atom knows. The atom in the sentient and in the insentient beings, the atom which is there in the pole and which is there in my body, which is talking, it is the same. Who will know the truth? Who will claim, I got it, I got it, I got it? Nothing. This is just the play, actually, within the play. Whatever you do it, you cannot get out of the play. Whatever you desire, this play will manifest. I'm sorry, actually. I know nothing, but sometimes, sometimes, like, whenever this thing comes up, I know, then I remember, all these things, so that I simply, fold my hands to the truth. That's all. Because it is the truth which wants to know itself. I'm nowhere in this.
Thank you. Thank you, my dear. Yeah. Asima says, it's so disgusting, Ananta. The example, which one? The snake one or the feet, eating your own feet one? We've had many today. Yeah, Pratik says catch 22. Yes, exactly. And then Mariano said, the first verse of the Tao is the Tao that can be told, is not the eternal Tao. This is the complete first verse. The Tao that can be told is not the eternal Tao. The name that can be named is not the eternal name. The Tao is both named and nameless. As nameless, it is the origin of all things. As named, it is the mother of 10,000 things. Ever desireless, one can see the mystery. Ever desiring, one sees only the manifestations. And the mystery itself is the doorway to all understanding. Very beautiful. Thank you. Divyana says, why simply wine? You can get drunk with the divine and no calories. Thank you, Father. Very good, my dear. Divyana says, why simply wine? You can get drunk with the divine. Divine. Divyana says. Very nice, very nice. Nitya is having some trouble with the hangout. Thomas Martin, I'm seeing him for the first time. He has a question. He says, hi Ananta, to what extent is it necessary to purify the mind and heal the body on the path to freedom? Does the mind have to be in line with the truth? This is a good question. To what extent is it necessary to purify the mind and heal the body on the path to freedom? Does the mind have to be in line with the truth? So let's first define what we would mean by false and what we would mean by truth. If we want to get to the truths, we must know what we are wanting to get to, isn't it? So if you're saying, do I need the mind and body to help me get to the truths? Let's see what we mean by false and true. So if truth is that which always is, then it would be the truth which would be worthwhile. If truth also was coming and going, then there would be no need for such a truth. Because all in this appearance already is seen to be coming and going. So the yearning for truth comes in the form of this yearning of stability, of that which is unchanging, that which is eternal. You want the eternal truth. So if the eternal is real, if the eternal is real, then it must already be here, isn't it? If the truth is true, then it must be here. If the self is true, if God is true, then it must be here. Now to find that which is here, what path should I take? Ultimately, this question boils down to this, isn't it? To find out that which is here, what is the path that I should take? Now for somebody, a sage like Bhagwan, he would say, just ask yourself who you are. You don't need any preconditions. Find out what you are just now. Who are you? That which is, that which you are, must already be the self. If it can be recognized like this, then nothing else is needed. But for most of humanity, when the question is asked, who am I? What happens? The mind starts offering up answers. You're like this, you're this person, you were born here, you were this, you were that. And then the second part of Bhagwan's pointing, which is, who are these thoughts appearing to? Most don't get to that at all. Because they get so lost in the content of these thoughts. Then what is one to do? Now, it is for this mental interference in the simple looking for who we are that various practices and paths have been prescribed. You see? So the yogis in India will say, do some hatha yoga, do some pranayam, do some mantra to calm the mind. You see? The Buddhists will say, become completely mindful of the content of the present moment. If you're walking, then stay with the walking. If you're washing dishes, then stay with the washing of the dishes. Which these practices then seem to make the mind more rested, more peaceful, not as noisy as it was. The truth has remained unchanged, but the seeming recognition was blurred because of the mental interference, and for that spiritual practices were prescribed so that the mind doesn't seem to be so strongly interfering. You see? Now, whatever gives peace to the mind, whatever makes the mind less noisy, that you can do. But ultimately, you come to this point of recognition that the truth always is. I didn't need a part to come to the truth. This you can say post facto, you see. And integrity only means that we are not in denial, which means that if we find that I'm not able to come to this recognition of who I am, I'm not able to drop false conditioning, then we don't use an Advaita concept to just bring ourselves into denial. But once this recognition is here, awareness is aware of itself, and it is what I am prior to even I am. Then we can say these words that no path is actually needed. You see? Nothing you need to do because you're already the self. We can say like this. But if our seeming reality seems to be just all of this mental disturbance and noise and all of this, then better not to add on more concepts to this. Better actually to sit and use a practice which gives some peace to this mind. Many times in satsang you will find me saying that there is nothing that you have to do, because what happens? We take on the practitioner identity itself so strongly, so that which was meant to just give some mental rest and enable the recognition, you see, that itself gets taken on as a strong identity, the seeker identity. So that seeker identity also has to be thrown out of its place, dislodged and uprooted ultimately. That's why I would say, practice? No, you don't need a practice. What practice? You see? And for some, I could say, yes, do some practice. Very rarely to some, I've even said chant a mantra. You see? And the next day, it could be that I said, don't do anything at all. I don't know how these things work. Yeah. So your question was, to what extent is it necessary to purify the mind and heal the body on the path to freedom? If the recognition of what you are is so naturally available to you in this moment, and you find that the mind is nothing but a gust of gentle wind which tries to resist the seeing of this truth, then you don't have to work on the mind and the body at all. But if the mind seems stronger than that, then use the instructions of the self-inquiry. There's a beautiful booklet called Self-Inquiry, two booklets actually, Self-Inquiry and Who Am I, which is published and distributed free online from Ramana Ashram also. So you can use those. If even that doesn't make sense, doesn't resonate, then you can do some chanting, do some Buddhist practices, it's all fine. Marisa says, I was watching Satsang yesterday and literally had to run to the bathroom to throw up. And bracket, sorry to say, many ideas appeared. Has this ever happened to you? Not to me, but I've seen many who have had this experience. It's not uncommon. If you were to run from Bangalore, where would you go? But what would be the first port of call? Bhutan. You've been? It's supposed to be. It's a country which is supposed to be the happiest country in the world. Yeah, given the mic. Today is a different type of satsang. Talking about food and countries. Okay, so Bhutan has gross happiness
it's like
index.
1970s when his king, that country's king, decided I will not evaluate the company on the way country on the based on gross domestic production, but gross happiness index. and it's like a country with very limited resource, but it's carbon only country carbon negative, and it's like have full free medical, free education for kids and all this. This is the way they evaluate how they should. 60% forest in a country. It's compulsory to have 60% forest in a country. Yeah. So very beautiful.
Have you been? No.
No, I really wanted to when you go for a leave
He'll
that
get,
time.
he's tired of Satsang, we'll find him in Bhutan, okay?
Uh,
It sounds very nice.
yeah.
Uh, Anandi wrote yesterday saying that I'm really missing you and all of you a lot, but I'm happy to be out of the city, to be honest. So happy I'm getting a break from Bangalore. Oh, water police is gone. Asima wants to come, you can come. Ah, yes. Asima wanted to come, no?
Hello, can you hear me?
Hello. Yes, yes, very well.
Oh, so good to speak with you.
Oh, same here, my dear.
And so much love to everybody there, really, to all the Sangha who is joining. Mm.
You want me to read this? Or you want to say, or you want me to read this?
Yes, you can read it, please.
Okay,
Yes.
okay. So she says, Father, please remove myself. Some stuff keeps coming up, and I don't want to pick it up anymore, but not able to drop the one who is interested. Same old relationship stuff. Yes, this relationship thing, no? This is what? Boy trouble.
Uh,
Boy trouble?
it's because of a relationship which doesn't really work. It seems so, but so I just like a lot of time like this, and I just dropped everything, like almost more than 1 year now.
Yeah.
I just dropped every idea I had, like I inquired like as much as I can, because sometimes it was so painful that I couldn't even inquire. I don't know.
Yes, yes.
And then I just dropped everything. I said I don't want to like be engaged with this anymore. I just let it be. And but then Guruji said, like in Zimar said something that really um, touched me, and it says, it is not that you don't mind. It is not that you don't care.
Yeah.
Is that you don't mind.
Mind.
So I somehow, yeah. So somehow like I understood that this stuff is still there. Like I kept like the sufferer, the one who is so interested, is still there. I just put everything under the carpet somehow, but not really. I just said, I don't care, I don't want to hear about these things anymore. I stopped hearing these thoughts about that, but I was just removing, like avoiding somehow, I don't know. Because these things really are coming up all the time, and just say, I don't want to hear that to myself, but I don't know. And now it's coming very strongly these days. I thought it was gone completely, but no. So I don't know. Um, I don't know what to do, basically.
Yes. What's most important to know first? Is what is my relationship with myself? And if there's a sense of completeness, oneness, sense of ease, then all the external environment, people coming and going, our ideas about them will not seem to affect us so strongly. But if there's a sense of lack or sense of need, then when an opportunity arises in the world, a seeming partner comes or some relationship type thing happens, then it can seem like it is life changing. It can seem like this one, what to do or what not to do, can seem like a major decision, life changing point that we come to. You see? So for me, it is not so much concern about whether the relationship happens or not. You've heard this from me before, at least many of you have heard this from me before. But what is primary is if you're comfortable, if you're completely at home, if you had to spend the rest of your life alone. Is it a scary visual or does it sound
Yes.
extremely joyous? Yeah. For me, I have to say, and I shouldn't say these things because I haven't experienced it firsthand, but for me, the idea of solitary confinement actually seems very joyous. You see? So when somebody says, we are going to punish you by putting you in solitary confinement, is that a punishment? You see? But I know that this just sense of being at ease with being seemingly alone, you see, we must explore as to why it is scary. Because even when the appearance of another is there in front of us, you see, except the visual sensations which are different and maybe some bodily sensations which are different in having a partner, what changes? How is any of that really changing what is true? You see? So if you're able to not care, not in a negative way, you see, just like you were saying, don't not mind instead of not caring. What that means? It doesn't matter. I don't mind whatever the content of the appearance is. It doesn't mean that I have become discompassionate or I have no feelings or something like this. You see? Because this happens very often. I'll share something from what happens here. It just feels like many in the Sangha, it just feels like, oh, Ananta is sharing satsang, therefore he must be free, so he obviously has no feelings. You see? so so sometimes I get very strong messages and mails, maybe even to get some reaction actually. You see? But it doesn't mean that I don't feel hurt sometimes or something, there's no sense of emotion felt here. It's not like this. In fact, very strong sensitivity can exist here. In fact, just in the life of this, it has been very, very sensitive growing up also. So strong sensitivity can be felt, strong feeling of hurt can be felt, strong feeling of compassion can also come. But you see, but it is not given to the mind. You see? It is not accepted personally. You see? So if one of you says, I don't come to satsang anymore, I don't like you, I think you're a fraud actually. Yeah? I've got like this. It's not uncommon. I think you're just shamming it. You've not had any realization of what is true or something like that. It's all a big sham what you're doing, and maybe you're deluded. It's fine. You see? But when it comes like this, and I don't come to satsang anymore, and I don't want to talk to you, and, you misled me. You see? So some sense of hurt can be felt. You see? And I must say that in that moment, even some belief in some thought can go. But what I can say with integrity is that it doesn't last more than a few moments usually. Okay? So this is how it changes. The appearances can come and go. The seeming perfect partner can come and it can go. Okay? The seeming sense of hurt can come and it can go. Okay? But what doesn't happen usually is this sense of holding on to grievances, holding on to resentment, because that needs belief in myself being a person, belief in thought. So you could say something that I don't like. For example, now if you say something I don't like, you see, then some hurt might come. You see? And mostly, even when the hurt is coming, thoughts are not believed, but sometimes a thought or two can get some belief. But most of the time, if I were to see you again tomorrow, I would not be able to operate from this place of past resentment, you see, or past ideas. So this is what changes. So dropping of the mind is not the dropping of compassion or even the feeling of hurt. And I feel that Ramakrishna, also Bhagwan, there are some very beautiful stories about this, about how it was with the Sangha and him, and very, very beautiful stories around this. So coming back to your question for a minute, this sense that the idea that to be myself with myself alone is scary to me, that we must look into together, and to see that if you were surrounded by 100 men, just to exaggerate a bit, who were all perfect, the perfect 100 Italian men were with you, which your mother would approve of, you see. What difference does that make in reality to what you are? The appearance. So the room, instead of being empty around you, suddenly I have some powers of manifestation. Like in India, you have these stories, right? So the God or the Guru would come and say, bless you. And with the blessing would be the perfect man would appear. So not one, but 10 men appear in your room who are all perfect. And they all madly in love with you. They only want you in their life. They don't want anything else. What does that fundamentally change about you? Can they go through your eyes and enter? Can you swallow them up? What can happen except that
No, nothing.
in the visual realm, these perfect men appeared, and in the bodily sensational realm, some sensations will be experienced. What else beyond that? In the reality of what you will still be only one, isn't it? That which you are now will still be the same.
Yes, I also like for like so much, so many months, like so far, I was okay because I was I don't know, very empty somehow, and um, I understand when you say like it's very good to be alone because all is sorry, I don't have so many words,
It's okay.
but
It's okay.
yes, but there's a kind sometimes what is coming up is a kind of belief that like this is not good. I don't know why. Like maybe it's conditioning, but
Yes.
always this longing, like these dreams, and maybe because this man is the last one. I don't know, and I still in love with him somehow, and I think about him. I would like him to be with me, and I don't know.
Yes.
But I realize that all is good when this moment, and I really appreciate to be by myself in this
Yes.
period like this.
Yes.
But
Yes.
there are
It's,
maybe drains. I
very
don't
good.
know.
I'm happy you speak like this openly. So what we are looking at now is that if this man was there with you, completely devoted to you, what would that change for you?
Nothing at all. Like I'm always here. It's always me.
Yes. Being is still being. Awareness is still aware. You see? You see?
Hmm.
And when we get just there is great contentment in being just being, then neither the need nor the aversion is there. And from that neutrality, the man can come or not come. And this love that we say, actually, true love is what? True love is just a servant to the presence that you are. Okay, there are three ways in which love is defined. Let's break it down. Let's break. Yes. Yeah. One is what the world usually calls love, which basically is a fancy word for need. And I need someone, I say I love someone, and basically I don't want to do without them, I don't want to be without them. It's not about them at all, it's just about me. I need them. You say I love them. I would do anything for you, I would do anything for you. But then he breaks up with you, then tomorrow you don't want to do anything for him. You see? So it's this anything for you actually is I would do anything for my need to be fulfilled. That is how the world usually defines love. The second love is the beautiful love, which is just this sense of love, experience of love. And no fear can come. When we taste this love, then we cannot be fearful. It is the opposite of fear. Nothing seems too risky, everything. Then we say, we're just drunk on this love. This love, which is like this drunk love, is a servant to our being. It arises in celebration of our unassociated being. It has nothing to do with any other appearance. It is just appearing to celebrate your own presence. You see? And when it is recognized also that the voice that speaks in satsang is my own presence, then this kind of love is expressed as devotion to the master. This love is this love, celebrating your own presence in service to your own presence, and exhibits itself as devotion when that presence is experienced in another being that we come across. Then what is it that is the final way in which love is often used? Very often we say that love is it, the final truth is love. See? But this love actually is this neutral, empty sense of oneness, non-separation. The oneness of knowing that there is nothing outside of me, and not even a phenomenal sense of love like that, just this simple knowingness itself. This oneness itself also has been referred to as love in the past. Now the love that I am guiding you towards is allowing your being to be unassociated with any concept. And as your being becomes concept-free, calorie-free, then you will find this unmistakable presence of love which doesn't want anything. Which is more universal in nature, and yet it can exhibit itself even in the personal form. It is not exclusive in any way. It includes all types of love. Motherly love, love for a partner, love for the world, love for the Sangha. All this love can be exhibited in that, but doesn't have an expectation of something in return. So as you're freeing yourself from all ideas about yourself, relationship should be, and who the relationship should be with. The mind presumes to know that if I only had this man, you see, this one is better than all others. But you've not met all men yet in the world. You see, God might have somebody better also waiting. So we don't know anything about who is the best man. You see? So let God play his game. And if relationship has to happen, then it will happen. The sense that I need him, and I need only him, he seems to be the one for me. We have been wrong about these things so many times in our lives already, isn't it? Starting from school days. The first crush, we feel like she's the one, there is nobody else ever. And then what happens? Life changes, life shows us different things.
Yeah, I think maybe it's just need for him, because the unconditional love, I know it, and it's different.
Yes.
I hope, like, I don't know, somehow the relationship with him is, which is not working, but it's very personal, so even if he's on his path, this path of truth also, but somehow between us, the relationship is just
Very
personal. I don't know.
Yes.
So this makes me kind of avoiding it, or I don't know.
Yeah.
I suffer from that, because why we can drop all these things, and with the maybe the one I love more, I can, like, it's still so personal, and there's a kind of wall between us. I don't know. It's But yeah, thank you for reminding me that love is just here. I don't. These needs are just, yeah, but sometimes it comes up. I don't know. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. It's good to be
Thank you very
reminded,
much.
especially when it seems like we're in the midst of these situations. They can seem very strong, and sometimes it doesn't feel only mental. Sometimes it can feel like the whole something is happening in the body energetically that wants to be with someone or something like this. You see, so these kind of things. So it doesn't seem like it's only a mental thought. It feels like they're strong. Uh, Vibrationally, it's so strong that I have to be with him. I have to write to him. These kind of things can come. But you see that as you remain with yourself, then these tendencies, these energies also start to settle down within yourself.
Yes.
And then if the relationship has to happen, it is so auspicious because it is not dependent on any need. It's a relationship of love, but it is not full of expectation and you must be like this for me, you know. Then this whole game that is played in these things that. It's so funny if you watch these
Yes.
games objectively. You see, first we say, I only want you and I'll just be happy if I get you. I'll just be happy. I want nothing else. Then 2 weeks into the relationship, yeah, it's nice, it's going well, but I don't like the way you chew your food. You know, you see, and do you brush your teeth properly at night before going to sleep? I don't see you. I saw last night you just went to sleep. And then you see, then this all this ideas of changing our partner. Then we want them to become more and more like us. We started getting attracted to someone because they were opposite, and then we want to change them to become more compliant with how we think. It's just so much trouble like this. You see? So if we go in with need, then it becomes this kind of relationship, which is also not bad because it forces us to look within and look at who we are. You see? But if we can start from this perspective of looking at who we are, not coming from a perspective of need, and just witnessing this entire relationship play out, then it makes the entire game so much more lighter, peaceful, joyous. That which we want from our relationship only plays out that way in a relationship when we enter the relationship as nothing, as nobody. When we enter a relationship as somebody, then a relationship does not give us joy, you see. Only momentary pleasure it might give us. Yeah. So as we are becoming nobody, not even one that wants relationship, then relationship can happen or not. Doesn't really matter. But we are at ease with ourselves.
Yes.
You see, the nature of the mind is like this. It's just so funny that we are able to talk to each other from so many miles away. You see, the entire Sangha is there, everyone loves each other so much, and yet the mind will say, but what about that man? What about that man? You see, this is how it plays itself. That only if I had that man, it would all be so perfect. It's perfect now, like this, so beautiful. Such a dream life,
Yeah.
such a beautiful life that is unfolding for you. staying in the same place as Guruji, same. You're still in Portugal, yes?
No, I'm in Italy.
Italy, okay, but not too far. Still in the same continent.
Yes.
You get a chance to see him, you get a chance to be in satsang like this. All this is so beautiful. In this moment, this is so here. The mind keeps saying, "Oh, that man, that man."
That man is in Saja, so every
That man
time I
is
go to see
inside.
Guruji, I see him.
Yes, yes. Many times, actually, few years ago, I would say that I would just say that okay, if your partner is on the same path, then all is good. It will be auspicious. I used to say like this, but I realize it's not necessary this way. Like what you say is also very possible that both can be on the same path to truth, even in the same sangha actually. But in the relationship, it can seem suddenly become so personal when you're with each other. You see, so if that is strong medicine which forces you to look within, that is good. But I will not say that it is always the best thing to have just because your partner is in the same sangha. It doesn't automatically make it an auspicious relation.
No.
You see? In fact, there can be a lot of spiritual competitiveness in partners who are in the same sangha who can be saying, but this is what Guruji said, or this is what he said. No, no, I got it. You didn't get it. All this kind of rubbish can also go on. You're not living the truth enough. Even in my small sangha of being, you had partners there who have had fights. They've come and reported that last night we had a fight saying you're not living the truth enough. You're not living the truth enough. You know, you're not living by father's words. That was the content of the fight, was who is living more in the words of satsang.
Yes. So it's good now. I'm away for a little bit, so
You can settle
yeah.
into your own self
Yes.
and then meet each other as nobody and allow what has to unfold in its own.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, my
Really.
dear. Thank you.
Really. Thank you.
Thank you.
I love you very much.
I love
Yes.
you too. Thank you, my dear.
And a hug to everybody there and to the
Yes.
hangout group also.
Yes. We'll take the camera around at the end if you like. After this.
Yes, please.
Yes. Yes. I can see some who are still grey, are they? Nitya is, yeah, she's, Lucia is just in a dark place, maybe, because must be very early in the morning. So. Thank you also very much for being in satsang today. Sadguru Shri Mujiji ki Jai.
Jai.
you. Thank you, my dear, for moderating today. You can end the broadcast now. Is there a